Alright guys, welcome back to another episode at Fred's Garage. I know it's been a while and I haven't updated a video, but today I'm trying to break down the front suspension video. So let's get into it. So I ended up getting front shocks from A Premium as a temporary use for the lowering springs because I don't know in the future if I am going coilovers. I probably will, so I didn't want to spend a lot more on these built-in shocks that I didn't really need if I'm going full coilovers. So as you can see here, I'm removing the old shocks, the top hat, and the springs, and I'm getting ready to install the new CTS lowering springs. Remember, the front springs only go on one way, and I think in this part I learned that I put it the wrong way. But yeah, the rubbered part has to go, I believe, on the bottom or the top. I can't remember, but I believe so. Yeah, it has to go on the top, but as you can see, I'm putting the top hat back on. I didn't really need spring compressors. Surprisingly, it held up. So, but going through it, yeah, there we go. Installed that one, and now going to the right side one. Yeah, these were actually pretty soothing to install, just knowing that the shocks were new and the coil springs were also new. As you can see, I put this one the right way, which is the rubber coated side had to go on the top and the CTS badge side had to go on the bottom. So I did the other one the right way, but yeah, putting it back together, finishing it up. There you go. There you see me redoing it. Attaboy, that's the right way. Top hat on. Nut, tighten it up, and bada bing, bada boom. There's the new front shocks, and looks pretty good. In this scenario, it's just the front suspension system from the lowering control arms and the tie rods and the axles. I didn't replace any of these because at the moment I just wanted to get the car up and running and driving, but in the future, we'll see. We'll get some 034 ones, or we might just go OEM spec, but for now, just put it back. And there you go. You see me installing the new coils and the new shocks. I'm just let it run through and give you guys some background music because this is just basic stuff. So far we threw the brake rotors on and the calipers. Like I said, we're waiting for, I want to get the new big brake kit, so I didn't invest too much into these calipers. We hooked up the brake line, nice and secured back there, back up here. I did have to secure this. I was looking for this for a bit and I finally found it, and I hooked up the line so that way it's not interfering with the spring. We do got to do the rear springs anyway, so we'll also do that. Like I said, some of this stuff I ordered and we're just waiting for a lot of parts, so that's why we're a bit of delay, but for now everything's in. This is just to drive it essentially, because once you know it gets colder, we're actually gonna park this back up and we're gonna jack it up, and we gotta do a lot of body work. We gotta like fix all these rust patches, and yeah,
See that? Like things like that we gotta re-weld and fix and make this beauty structurally perfect again. But yeah, let's do the other side real quick. I want to bore you guys with this side, so I'm just gonna finish this and then come back to you guys within a snap of my finger. Still getting a little hot in here. Alright, I did the passenger side front brakes and everything from the lines. I hooked up everything. So I'm gonna just quickly zap the driver's side down together, then we can get to bleeding the brakes. I don't want to bore you guys with the same thing, same concept, just carrier, caliper, line, pad. Oh, I did reuse the old pads temporarily. I did order new red pads. I think they're by Stop Tech. I'm still haven't received them. Not too sure why. It just says that's in process. I don't know if that means that it needs to get delivered or it just needs to process the order, which it took money out of my account, so I assume it's processing the order. So we'll see when it gets here, then we'll swap out the new pads. For now, just for the sake of bleeding the brakes, etc., things like that, we're just gonna slap the old pads back on. I'll show you guys real quick what I did. All right, y'all, I bled the brakes, topped off the tranny fluid. Let's throw some wheels on. While it's up in the air, we're gonna run through the gears real quick, make sure the gears are actually working. After months of hard work and the painstaking plastic tarp during the winter, she's out. Don't mind the smoke. I'm assuming, don't get me wrong, it could be something else, but I'm assuming because we were having the oil pump issue and I was trying to figure it out, I did dump a bunch of oil on this side of the header. So it might just be burning off, but other than that, don't see much wrong with it. The small other issues we need to take care of, things like the supercharger coolant pump not working. It could just be a pump. I want to get the upgraded pump. I forget what it's called, but it's like a bigger pump that you got to hardwire manually to keep it on running constantly. We got to do is a bunch of wire tucks. We got to run a bleeder for the supercharger cooler. We got to do new brake pads. Yeah, because I don't want to run these old ones and damage it. I just did it temporarily just to put it on and make sure that I can bleed the brakes. We gotta wash the damn thing. We gotta do rear lowering springs and shocks, things like that. We gotta finish up all that. Do all this stuff, but I think I'm gonna do the hood stuff and lights and everything after I give it a wash. I'm gonna clean everything up. I'm probably gonna, I don't know if you can see me. I'm probably gonna throw it up on the jack, pull the wheels off and give it a wash. It is disgusting, so we'll do that. Other than that, most of the stuff should be fine. Then hopefully when I get enough, mere moolah, we can replace things like the pulley. I should have replaced it then, but I didn't honestly think there was anything wrong with it. I know there's a coolant leak on one of the coolant pipes, but I'm also waiting for a clip. I ordered a stupid clip. I didn't even get one yet. Other than that, these rims don't look too bad to run it right now. As you can see, it's low with the lowering spring, so we're gonna have to upgrade the oil cooler hoses. We're gonna have to like sit it up here somewhere. We're gonna have to figure it out with the bumper and everything. The warm oil is nice and warm. I know there's nice oil flowing through. Other than that, I'm actually so glad she's back on the floor. I do want to run it a little bit longer, but this supercharger thing is starting to get a little warm. So we'll figure out that issue. Maybe it's just a fuse issue. Other than that, as you can see, it's empty in there. I'm gonna clean all that up, a bunch of stuff, and yeah, we'll go from there. I might go forward this time, park it inwards, so that way when we do the rear stuff, then you know, I have access to it. But yeah.